Will you lead us in prayer, Bobby?
Will you bow your heads with me? Dear Lord, as we come before you, thankful for this day and your many blessings, and thankful, dear Lord, for the day that you've given us. We ask you, God, to protect our soldiers that's on foreign soil, be with them and your hand of protection over them. We ask you, Lord, to lead and guide us in this meeting that we might do what is right and pleasing in your sight. We ask this all in the name of Jesus Christ and for his sake, and amen.
Amen. Call to order. Roll call, please.
Judge Deskins.
Yes.
Magistrate Anderson.
Here.
Magistrate Compton.
Yeah.
Magistrate Murphy. Here. Magistrate Robinson. Here. Magistrate Dotson.
Here.
Magistrate Varney.
Here.
All right. Leo, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Approval of an appointment to the Pike County Airport Board. Herbie, will you?
Yeah, this this is a position on the city board, and we have an agreement with them that when they put up their person, that we'll approve it, and when we put up our people, they'll approve it. So I would say let's move ahead with the approval. It's this, I think it's one of the, he's already on it. It's David Baird, I believe.
Reappointment?
Reappointment, yes.
City appointment, reappointment. I'll make a motion. We approve it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Robinson. Yes. Magistrate Dotson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes. Adoption of a resolution approving the execution of the rural secondary program agreement in the amount of $228,000 for bridge replacement on Big Blue Springs Road on 1801 and approval to execute and related documents.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Yes. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dotson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Deskins.
Yes.
Judge, if I understand that's right, that's what the state has approved they'd pay, Frankie.
That's 80%. Yeah, 80. They'll pay up to 80% of that.
Okay, and then we gotta come up with a 20. When did you say the bids were gonna be open?
It'll be February 2nd, and then I'll have the results at the next court meeting.
All right.
Court meeting in February.
Thank you.
All right.
Just tell me.
All right. Adoption of a resolution for the Pike County Fiscal Court in support of the filing of a Kentucky Local Government Economic Development Fund, House Bill HB 303, project proposal grant application for $65,229 in local government economic development single county funds with the Department of Local Government, DLG, for the purchase of a dump truck with the snowplow and spreader for the city of Coal Run. Herbie?
Well, this, the mayor of Coal Run, Mr. Scott, called and said that he had talked with all 5 of the representatives and that they had approved this project, and as Representative Harris approved it only if this fiscal court approved it. So that's the...
Herbie, is this coal severance money we're buying this plow and truck with?
Yep.
It is?
Can Pike County not qualify for the use of the same funds? I mean, says economic development, you know, that
Yeah, well,
it's gonna be spent.
I discussed that with Mayor Scott, and he says that they've told him that they're loosening up on some projects,
That's what he told me the same thing.
and I did discuss that with him, Hillman, and he said he'd like to go ahead with it.
I know we got criticized for wasteful spending on coal severance money. And, you know, I'm all for anybody getting anything to help their county or the city. But when it pick and choose what we're going to use this money for, seem like when some people need a project, it don't happen, but some it gets approved for. And, you know, I'd spoke a little bit about getting some help on that bridge over out of our county budget. And it didn't seem like it was an economic development project when it was a fire department involved and a business there and 30 residents. So, you know, I'm just voicing my opinion on the feelings I have toward this coal severance money. If it's going to be spent, they need to spend it the way they try to criticize the court. You know, they took it away from the court several years ago, said we were wasting money. And to me, it would be better for a judge and 6 magistrates to choose how this money is going to be spent than just blow it and spend it any way you want to.
Well, I think that's what Representative Harris is still holding to, Hillman. But he did say that if we approved it, he would have gone along with it. And Mayor Scott said, please put it down. That was one of the things that he had discussed with all the magistrates.
I'll make a motion. to go
He's
ahead.
not discussed it with me. I don't know about these other guys.
I did talk to the mayor.
Have y'all talked to him about it?
Yeah, I have.
They said they hadn't, so, you know, I've not
I
talked to
don't
him. You
know,
talked to him, Bob?
I can't talk for Mayor Scott. I just know what he referred on to our office.
Yeah.
You second the motion?
I got a quick, Jeff, how much does your road lot do snow plowing in the city limits of
Well,
Oakland now?
it really depends. Sometimes if it's not a real bad snow, you know, we don't do as much because there are some hills that they don't have the equipment to get to.
With the acquisition of this, will that?
I think it'll cut down maybe everything that we do. I mean, to be honest with you. Yeah, that's one of the things I discussed with the mayor as well. So I think that's kind of what they're trying to get to is be a little more self-sufficient, if you will. So.
Leo, you might get one up the Elkhorn there to help you a little bit up there.
Well, we've had a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Yes. Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
No.
Magistrate Varney?
No.
Judge Diskins?
No. All right. Awarding of bids, Frankie? No bids, all right. Magistrate's road work.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy? Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Diskins?
Yes. Magistrate's comments.
Judge, the only thing I had, I was going to, I'd spoken to the county attorney. He had to leave, but my phone's been ringing off the hook over some of this UMG stuff, and I think he told me there was a hearing, it'd be in Floyd Circuit Court this Friday morning on the open records case.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
That's all I have.
I don't have any comments, Judge.
okay. You have any comments, Leo? Hillman?
Judge, I just want to say that, you know, I'm not against Coal Run getting a truck, but I think the budget situation that we've had in the past has put us to the situation we had to had to implement an occupational tax on their people to keep their bills paid. It's only fair for the cold severance money to be spent some in the county and buy equipment for the use of our county people, out in the county that needs this equipment. We got to take the money out of our road fund and buy equipment to operate on. And, when the occupational tax come about, the city of Coal Run chose to pull out of and get their own occupational tax from their businesses and their stores. And I think it would be only right for them to use their budget to buy equipment with if they're going to be separate from the county. I get criticized for speaking out and saying things, but that's on my mind. I think we need to look at our spending, and they criticize the court for wasteful spending and buying this and buying that, and then they change the rules in the game to where it fits the political end on their end. And, sometimes we get blamed and talked about for things that we can't control, but that is one issue that I think that if you're going to be a city and you're going to collect money, then you ought to operate as a city. It's just my opinion. And I want to say I thank all the employees for this bad cold spell that we've had with all the problems with the roads. They've been out there working and getting people in and out. And another thing, I want to thank the Mountain Water District for being able to supply the water for the people in our county, because seeing the news, most of the counties, Martin County and Perry County, they're without water. So that tells me that they're doing something right. And I just want to thank all the employees and sorry to take up your time.
Bobby?
I just want to echo some of the sentiments that Manager Dodson was talking about as far as this cold spell and the work that our employees done on the roads and stuff. Exemplary they can't be matched. They just done a great job, and they're out there working all hours. It doesn't matter. Call them early, stay late. It doesn't matter. And I want to compliment them guys on that. 2 or 3 things. Our budget. I'd like to sit down and talk about budget, guys. I don't want to wait to June to have to rush in and put a budget together. I don't know where we're at on spending. I don't know where we're at on collection. I don't know nothing. And really, there's no excuse for it. We should have a meeting on the budget. Hey, buddy, I make a motion, all kind of motions about meetings. We're supposed to have a meeting the first, after every quarter, the first month, the second meeting, of that month, we're supposed to have a budget meeting. We've had one. We've had one. So you can make all kinds of motions. Nobody's going to do nothing. So I really think it's time that we start talking about the budget. A budget.
Let's set, when's a good time? I'll second the motion.
Anytime, right now.
Well, the treasurer, we probably can't do anything without the treasurer.
Bob, you're saying that. Are you in favor of not spending no more excessive money until we get the budget approved and looked at?
I'm just one vote, but I will not vote to spend any more money until somebody explains this budget to me, where we're at on it. Any extra money.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yeah, I withdraw my second, and I'll vote yes.
Gotcha. Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dodson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes.
All right. The other thing is, as far as what are we going to do about the position of constable and justice of the peace that's came up? We haven't discussed any of that. And I know that you got to May or something, but are we going to wait to the last day to discuss it and try to decide what we're going to do on that? What is the salaries going to be the commissioner of the justice of the peace of the constable? There's some things we need to talk about, guys. I don't know, when do we do that? I don't think we need to wait. Let's go ahead and do it now. What's the difference? That's all, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Frankie, On the treasurer business, you have anything?
Judge, the treasurer called and said she couldn't be here today, so I'm gonna make a couple of proposals for her. The first one is to authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, life, and dental insurance.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskins.
Yes.
Authorize the payment of the expenditure approval list dated January 22nd, 2018, and any other utility and telephone bills received before checks are run.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson.
Yes.
Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskins.
Yes.
Authorize a check to Frank Knoll for $84,390. This is FEMA, the Upper Pompey buyout, hazard mitigation money, to buy out the remaining 2 homes and to include all closing costs and title insurance fees. And this will finish the home buyout on that grant. Pass-through money.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskins.
Yes.
Authorize a check to Romaine Company for $185,000 for a full-body drug scanner system at the jail. We got the contract from the jailer saying how much he's going to reimburse us each month, and
How much
got an
was that?
invoice, and it was approved at the last court meeting, but we need authorization for a check.
How much is he gonna reimburse us?
$7,500 a month. He said he may be able to pay more, but he guaranteed that it would
Okay.
at least be that much a month. Yeah.
Motion.
Motion to authorize a check.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson.
Yes.
Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskins.
Yes.
That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you. We need to go into executive session to discuss personnel and possible litigation. Bobby Varney, will you please read the KRS?
KRS 61.810, paragraph C is discuss proposed or pending litigation. Paragraph F, Pacific personnel matters. I put that in the form of a motion.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson. Magistrate Compton.
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dodson.
Yes.
Magistrate Varney.
Yes.
Judge Diskins.
Yes. The court will be in the court meeting will resume. Go ahead with your work.
Yes, gentlemen, the following items is up for approval. Approval to hire Lester Stanley as caretaker at Grants Branch effective 2/1/18 at $400 a month. Approval to hire Brody Taylor as a mini-pack driver at the Belcher lot at a 3H rate of pay. Approval to hire Joseph Reed as a mini-pack driver at the Belcher lot at a 3H rate of pay. Approval to hire Dalton Pigg as a loaderman at Belcher lot at a 2H rate of pay. Approval to hire Chris Anderson as a loaderman at the Johns Creek lot, that would be the recycling center, at a 2H rate of pay. Approval to hire Johnny Atkins as a mower driver at Road Lot 1 at a 3H rate of pay. Approval to hire Zachary Dixon as a loaderman at Robinson Creek lot at a 2H rate of pay. Approval to hire Adam Runyon as a mini packer/packer driver at the Johns Creek lot at a 3H rate of pay. Approval to move Connie Chapman from a 2H rate of pay to a 1A rate of pay effective 1/8/18. Approval to move Connie Martin from a 1A rate of pay to a 2A rate of pay plus longevity effective 1/8/18. Approval to terminate Justin Collier effective 1/17/18. Approval to change Chuck Morley's title to Supervisor of Customer Service at the same rate of pay. Approval to pay Mark Ramey as a Packer driver at the Belcher lot at a 3H rate of pay for 2 days. Approval to hire Roger Anderson as a temporary mechanic at the maintenance garage at a 5H rate of pay effective 1/22/18. Approval to hire Kayla Mullins as a temporary custodian in the judicial building at a 2H rate of pay effective 1/24/18. That is all I have.
Thank you. These are my recommendations and my motion. I need a second. Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson?
Yes.
Magistrate Compton?
Yes.
Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dotson?
Yes.
Magistrate Varney?
Yes.
Judge Diskins?
Yes. Public comment. Where's that list at? There you go. Woody?
Hey, Judge, before we start public comment, I want to apologize to the court and everyone. I'm going to have to go. I had a previous appointment and stuff that I've got to take at 12:30, so I'm going to have to leave. I'm sorry. If we were going to discuss the budget, I'd stay here to midnight.
Well, you're welcome to go.
Okay.
Come on up.
Good morning, Judge, everybody else that's here. I appreciate you giving me a moment to just speak. Zig Ziglar once quoted as saying, "The way you see people is the way you treat them." And I'm just going to make some comments, and I'm going to get to a point when I get to the end. Do you know what the royal law says? Love others as yourself. Or the golden rule, treat others as you want to be treated, or to treat people without disrespectfully treating the individuals. You know, we all are here just short time. Our lives are like a vapor. We need to live by a principle of respect and working together in this county. I want to clarify something that happened on December the 5th. When I came and spoke. I've never participated in this court before. None of you guys probably have seen my face or knew who I was, except for Bobby that just left. He is my magistrate. He's come to the church where I go to church regularly. Other than him, no one really knows. Oh, Jimmy Bevins is here. Jimmy has met me. I would like to take a moment and just say that when that meeting occurred, it kind of was crazy. All I was coming to do was try to find out what's going on taxes so that I could understand what's happening. I literally didn't come to speak, but when I got here, I had a person in the audience say, you know, the more people that speak, the better off we're going to be. So I said, well, okay, well, maybe I'll say something. Maybe after everybody else speaks, you know, I can add an input. Not realizing I was going to be the one of 5 to speaking. I thought there was more people to speaking. I came December 19th to follow up after that meeting, and when I got here at 5:30, you guys weren't here. Then I realized when I investigated, you guys meet in the morning time on the 3rd Tuesday, in the evening on the 1st Tuesday. I wasn't aware of the protocols or the proceedings that went on. I did play the December 19th meeting to find out that on January 2nd it was canceled. On the 16th of January, I called to find out the weather was going to delay the meeting for the 16th as it was the 3rd Tuesday. And I was informed, well, we had a special meeting on the 12th, and this meeting got changed to today. And that's why I'm here today to address the court. After watching some of the YouTubes, because I had never looked at the court meetings, reading some of the newspaper articles, I understand how maybe I presented a threat or a reactionary process that asking a question was for some hidden agenda, and it wasn't a hidden agenda. There was nothing going on. I was just actually coming as a public person, say, hey, what's going on? Can you explain what happened? Just for clarifications, we were talking about the compensating rate, And I want to make sure everybody knows that what happened with the compensating rate that I'm affiliated with as a member of the Pike County Conservation District. I contacted our secretary to go back through our minutes and find out where we discussed the compensating rate. In 2016 and 2017, it was never in any of our minutes. We did not discuss it. It was never brought up. It was never made known to us. What I do recall, and that's what I was referring to when I spoke to the court, was in our minutes of 2015. In 2015, we discussed the compensating rate, and we chose not to take it in 2015. Now, why is it there in 2015, not in 2016, 2017? I can't tell you, other than I'm going to read from what my secretary, as in the Conservation District, wrote to me on what happened this year. Her statement was, and I'm quoting what she had wrote, "The supervisors did not discuss the rate because I had never received anything. I got a call from the fiscal court, can't remember if it was Jenny or Rose, asking for a rate after that month's board meeting. I told them we would put it on our agenda for the next board meeting and was told that it wouldn't be too late. It had to be in by the close of that day, or we won't receive anything. Got the call about 1 that day. Had to call DLG to get them to fax me the form. DLG couldn't tell me the rate. They said they had not received the rates from PVA office and I would have to call them. When I called the PVA office, I was told that the man who does the rates was on vacation. I told them that the fiscal court had to have our rate that day by 4 and asked how I was supposed to get it, so I ended up talking to about 5 different people. 2 more calls to the DLG office, called the Division of Conservation. Last call to the PVA told me the compensating rate was 3.4. The last time the rate was discussed is in the minutes was in 2015 when we were receiving funds for rent, utilities, and part of salary through direct aid from the state. Since it was that close to 4, I put it in the compensating rate. I did not think there would be time to get an email sent in response from everyone before 4. PVA's office said the compensating rate would not increase the amount of money we receive, just give us approximately the same amount as last year. So following the recommendation of the government agency, our secretary went ahead and proceeded to follow through with everything, trying to act on behalf of Pike County and our citizens to make sure that nothing changed. At the December compensating meeting that followed the December 5th meeting here was on the 12th, we actually put it in our records to make sure we discuss the compensating rate for next year and go forward, so that is not a surprise issue in the future. Now, what I would like to do is kind of give the court and the people here a little idea who I am and what the Conservation District does. Let me start with a little background on how I got into the Conservation District. I did not seek the Conservation District initially. I had a member of the board that was leaving office and said, I know you like nature, you like taking care of things, you might want to get into this. So I inquired on it. I had to get 25 signatures from Pike County residents. I sought those signatures. I submitted my paperwork. I did not solicit a single vote. I did not go to ask relatives to vote for me. I did not ask anybody else to vote for me. I simply put my name on the register. If the Lord wanted me to serve, He would allow it to happen. If not, that's fine. Ballots come through, election happens. My aunt comes to me after the election and says, why didn't you tell me your name's on the ballot? I said, well, I just didn't tell nobody. She goes, well, I voted for you anyways. At church and at the place I worked, people came and goes, why didn't you tell me you were on the ballot? I didn't care about it. If the people that knew me thought I would do a good job, they would vote for me. And that's how I got on the Conservation District. Now, I want to kind of turn to the Conservation District so everybody knows in Pike County what's going on. Because what I've learned since December the 5th, I didn't realize how many people watch this stuff. I've never watched one of you guys' meetings. I've watched a 5-minute segment and I flipped it. That's been my history with you guys. And what I found is a lot of people do watch these, and they're interested in what's going on in our county. And since we have taxpayer money that funds the conservation district, we really need to have people know why those monies go in there and how it helps us, so that in the future, we know what the dollars are spent on. So as a conservation supervisor, we get paid nothing other than a compensating rate that allows us a per diem of $30. So I get $30 a month if I attend a meeting. I try to attend at least 8 to 10 meetings a year. I had shoulder surgery, which knocked me out of a meeting. So, I mean, there's little things that can come up. But I always try to go to the meeting because we need at least 4 supervisors to have a quorum, just as you guys require a quorum yourself. So the question is, what's the county getting with the conservation district? Our budget's about $110,000 a year. Pike County, by having the conservation district, we have received over $11 million worth of assistance through the state and other programs because of the conservation district. We've had flooding take place. They've brought money into it. They've got some state programs. There's some federal programs that we're able to help levy to help people in the community with farming and things associated to it. With the revenues, how do we spend the money? One of the biggest things, a lot of people, when I talk about the conservation district, they'll say, free trees. We have a tree program where we give people trees. These trees, some are actually fruit-bearing trees, some are beautifying trees. Trees are important. In our process, we've given out over 23,000 trees to Pike County residents. One full-grown tree produces about enough oxygen for 4 people. Out of 23,000 trees given out, if half of them produce oxygen and are living to full maturity, that means they're producing over 46,000 oxygen for approximately 46,000 people. How many people live in Pike County? That's over half our county receive benefit from the trees. Not only do they produce oxygen, but the trees also produce fruit, produce nuts. Those nuts feed squirrels, these nuts feed deer, they feed the wildlife. So if you're a hunter or you like wild game, they can also help with that. Also, trees have an amazing thing to absorb water. And a tree can absorb about 100 gallons of water out of the soil. So if we have half the trees survive, that's about 11,500 trees. That means that it can, in a given day, they can withdraw over 1.1 million gallons of water out of the soil. So when it comes to flooding, rain, trees are a good friend of ours. Also, trees have roots in them. And if you've ever seen a riverbank and trees planted on there, most riverbanks are held in by the roots of the trees. So when it comes to flooding damages and stuff, trees help. So trees are an important thing in the conservation district. But we also have helped fund things like at the Veterans Home down at Shelbyana. We have helped, they put in some raised beds so they can raise some vegetables and gardening stuff down there. We helped support some of that, giving them some funds, buying soil. We provided some funds to the city of Pikeville's elementary school. They have a plot that their teacher has now since left, but she was down there helping the kids with learning how to grow plants. And they were supplementing the school salad with the plants they were growing, the kids themselves. We've helped by offsetting the large animal disposal to the county when they would have to spend energy to dispose of an animal. If they filled the paperwork out and send to us, we could get reimbursement for them on there. We've also sponsored some posters and writing contests for the elementary schools, school systems around here, and some of the teachers. Some of the contestants that actually participated actually went to the state with some of their activity. We also have worked through teamwork with the Extension Office where we have actually funded hay workshops for local farmers that could attend the workshop, and then they would get free education, and then there were some things that were given out with it. So it was done at no charge, and so these people take advantage of taking care of our soil and taking care of our water in Pike County. The fiscal court is important to Pike County because it helps govern Pike County. The Conservation District is also important in Pike County because it helps Pike County soil, water, and the air quality as well with the trees and things that go on. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, whether you're disagree or agree with Trump or Bevins or some other political figure, our greater good of our country, our county, the things that go on needs to take precedent. There's a lot of information that's spread out here. People spread lies, they spread rumors, as our president's notorious for saying fake news. There's a lot of things that go out here. People do it intentionally and people do it unintentionally. But in Pike County, we got to work together to stop that information so that we can actually have a better county, a county that moves forward and improves itself. I know a lot of times we look at ourselves and the people that are closest to us, and we make decisions based on that relationship. But there's a lot of people in Pike County. There's a lot of groups. You know, there's people that work hard. You know, I've always been a person, I go to work, I get off work, I go home, I go to church, I try to help people, I try to do what I can, and that's been my focus. That's how I live day to day. Some people have multiple jobs. They try to work 2 and 3 jobs. You got other people that are poor that are working 2 or 3 jobs. They may be unemployed, you know, with the way the mines have shut down. We've got a lot of people that need work, and they've gone out of the county for work. These are important people. They have opinions. We've got people that are retired. They've worked all their life. They finally get to a point where they either can't work anymore or they're getting to the age where it's hard to get them to go to work and work all the time. And they're wanting to be heard in this county. There's just so many people's voices. And I don't know, with what's going on in the county, what's going on with the court, if there's a mechanism other than the 4-year election that can be done to make people's voices heard a little bit more. I know when I left the meeting in December, I was amazed how many people spoke to me and talked to me. And I'm like, where'd you see that at? And they're like, oh, it was on Facebook. It was on this. It was on, and I'm going, really? And I was amazed how many people have been paying attention. Then they would tell me stuff, and I'm going, really? It seems like many people feel like they just don't get heard in this area. So I'm just coming to say, guys, we're a team. If I can help in any way, I'm not the smartest person in the building, but if I can help, I would. I want to make 2 personal comments. I would like to thank Hillman Dotson. He apologized in the last meeting, and he came up and talked to me after the meeting and apologized again. I appreciate that, sir. And I also like to respond to Justin Maynard. He came up after the meeting as well and talked to me for a period of time, and that was very cordial. I appreciate it. It felt like you guys had a heart, sincere topic to speak about with me, and I appreciate it. And Justin, I still want to take you up on your offer that me and you talked about. I reckon from this point, I basically have 2 questions. I'm going to sit down, but I just kind of want you guys to know where I was coming from, what I represent, and what I bring to the table. I've heard people mention open records. I've never done this open records. What is the policy that oversees open records? Because I know in the last conversation, someone had mentioned I had open records, and then their information was years old and not current. And folks, we need to use current data. We need to look, when we're looking at stuff, it needs to be relevant. How do you request information from the fiscal court is my first question. What policies oversees that, and then how do you request that? Is there a written document or something that tells us how to do that as individuals? How do you do that? I mean, where do you do that at?
What do you do, Herbie? You go to the department that you're requesting information on?
Gene, why don't you tell them that she takes care of open records.
Okay.
Okay, we have an open records request form. If you want to come by the judge's office, I'll be glad to give you one, and you can, you put your name on there and tell us what you're looking for, and we have a certain amount of days to provide you with what you need. If it's quite a bit of information, you'll probably just have to come and look at our information. If you need copies, we'll make you copies at that time, and we'll charge you, I think it's 25 cents a copy.
Okay.
So there's no really form, we got a form for you.
Right.
And then you make the request, we got, time that we have to look it up and reply.
Is that like in a 2-week period, 4-week period, 7 years?
I think it's 3 working days.
3 working days, okay,
Tell you why we can't, or when we can, when we can't.
okay. If you have a question for me, I'll be glad to answer it. If not, I appreciate your time.
Woody, I just want to say that I've probably been around a little bit longer than you have on the conservation department. I remember years ago they didn't have any income as far as tax base for Pike
Yes,
County. And, you know, we as a court voted to implement a tax base so the conservation could,
Millage tax, I believe.
it's called millage tax.
Correct.
And, you know, it was a small amount for what we were getting back. And, you know, you mentioned some trees and things, but I remember back when they had a program called the White Goods, and you guys would pay people to bring in their washing machines, refrigerators, whatever they could bring in. The conservation district would give them an amount of money for that piece of furniture. And, you know, all the things that y'all have done, we'll probably never be able to pay you back. Every time we'd have a flood or a washout, we would file papers to get the conservation to come in and distribute aid to help us.
Correct.
And, you know, we've got thousands and maybe millions of dollars from the conservation district to repair the streams and put them back the way they were. And
Actually, it's the Department of Agriculture, Natural Resources that we get that money from.
But it's actually tied through the Pike County Conservation District.
you're right, Woody.
Without the Pike County Conservation District, those funds are not always available to you.
And, you know, to go on, I just want to say, I, as a court member, appreciate the Conservation District and what they stand for. And if the people knew what you just told them today and what I'm saying, it would be a lot easier on them to pay a tax or a millage, whatever. But, you know, I appreciate you and your time and your board and the people that do these jobs. And, you know, you come anytime I feel that you need to come to the court and get to know court meetings and businesses. And I think all the people need to do that. Get involved. Find out what is happening in their county. And it would be a whole lot easier to explain to them when these tax issues comes up where their money is going.
Yes, sir, I agree with you wholeheartedly on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, you all have a blessed day. Thank you.
Thank you, Woody. Commissioners and directors' comments. Paul? None? None?
Judge, I got one more thing I want to say. I forgot Paul. I talked to him this morning, and what Paul done, he took an old oil furnace that was discontinued and fixed it and worked on it and put it in our maintenance garage over there to cut down on the electric bill. I didn't ask him to do it, but he thought it was necessary, you know, to do that. And you know, that's the kind of people we got working out there that's looking to save the county money and do a job that they think they need to do. So I just want to say, Paul, I appreciate you and for thinking about doing them things. And it probably will save a lot of money on our electric bill.
At our recycle yard and at the Belcher lot, at the Robinson Creek lot, we have big barrels out where people bring used motor oil, can you use that motor oil? 'Cause we're having to pay to dispose of it.
That's what it is. It's a motor oil refinery furnace, ain't it, Paul? And they got a tank over there, probably, what is it, about 500 gallon, 1,000 gallon, that they put this oil in. But we want to make sure that it's not stuff like Paul just cleaned out. He said it had a lot of debris in the tank. But I guess he's putting a filter in it or something now, ain't you, Paul? But we would welcome that oil and probably be able to use it. And Bobby, I'm glad you spoke up. It reminded me, we've got that dumpster over at the Majestic grade school. And I went by there Sunday, and it was terrible. And garbage all over the parking lot, dumpster running over. And, you know, I think if people want to continue using that, they need to be more respective of how they dispose of that, because it's a big help for the people to be able to go by and throw their garbage in that thing. But it was a mess Sunday. And I think if we can't get it corrected, we need to move it.
Well, just let me know whatever you want to do. Do we need to put another dumpster there, or?
Well, you know, it wouldn't matter, because they're not throwing it in the dumpster. You know, when the tank gets full, it goes on the ground, and it's awful. And it's right in the view of everybody that goes by. And do we need to give them a little notice if it's not cleaned up a little bit better that we're going to move it?
Yeah, we can do that. We can post a sign right there on the side.
I wish you would put a little sign up. If you want to continue this service, please help us keep it clean or something. And Paul has talked to the boys over there that take care of the school, and most of this is done during the day when they're not there. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Any other comments? All right, I make a motion to adjourn. I need a motion.
Motion second.
Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson. Magistrate Compton. Magistrate Murphy. Magistrate Robinson. Magistrate Dotson. Judge Deskins.
Yes.